Hi, my loves, and welcome to your Cosmic Weather Report for the week ahead. We've got a week this week of real choices and changes. And this week is going to start to really help us to connect the dots in our life, not just from the past and where we've been and what we've learned and how it's all brought us to here, but also to what we want in our future and how it is we're going to get there. So the astrological week begins on Monday as we get Mercury sextile the Sun and Mercury sextile Neptune, which means that Saturn and Neptune are conjunct. Now, I'm going to talk about that for you a little bit more next week because this is quite an important transit. And the energy of this week, especially the Gemini new moon on Tuesday, is going to really help us to work with this Saturn and Neptune energy to look towards next February when these two are going to be in an exact conjunction at 0 degrees of Aries, which has never ever happened before. So it's almost like this week, this new moon, everything we're doing this week is helping us to look to that future at the beginning of next year and say, where is it I really want to be and what do I need to be doing now to make sure that I can get there? So first of all, as Mercury sextile Saturn, this brings a kind of real mental discipline to get things done. That ability to be able to look to the future and to look to the foundations that you want to lay in your life and the structures that you want in your life and really set those goals to begin to move towards them. It will help you with taking action on things that you've been putting off. So if you constantly over the last few weeks, or we've had a lot of change going on over the last few weeks, and if you kept saying, no, I want to change this, or I want to change that, but I'm too busy to do this, or I'll do that tomorrow, or this feels difficult to look at right now, so I'm going to start it next week. This will now bring the energy of really beginning to deal with those things and go, right, enough putting this off now. Let me look at this. Let me take control of this. Let me make a start with this now. Now, as Mercury then meets Neptune, this brings the ability to really be able to tap into and trust your intuition. And so you're going to start to find that there are these deep intuitive insights that are likely going to be around your future and what you want from the future. And so it might be that you start to feel dreams beginning to stir within you and your imagination starts to really run away with you almost about what could be possible and what do I want in my future. And especially if you have felt quite stuck in your life, there's going to be this energy that's going to start to help you to daydream and visualize and go, I want this for myself and this is the kind of life I dream of and this is what it is that I really want. And all those maybe those yearnings that you kind of keep down because #life and everything's too busy, they're all going to start to really come to the surface. So it's going to be a really interesting beginning of the week that's going to help you to feel those dreams and desires within you and those intuitive nudges, and not just feel them, but then begin to act on them and go, okay, well, if I do want that in my life, what is it that I need to do so that I can make that happen? Now, to help us with this, Mercury is going to move into Gemini on this same day. And so Mercury in Gemini is going to bring this, it's going to be almost like a surge of fresh Gemini air, where we're going to be able to just really begin to, as I mentioned earlier, connect the dots. Things will start to make a little bit more sense. We'll be able to solve problems. We'll be able to see solutions. It brings connections. And so if you've been struggling with something because you're like, well, I'd love to make that happen, but I need a person who knows about this, or I need this, or I need this, Mercury in Gemini just starts to bring those connections, the solutions, the answers. Everything starts to flow to us much more easily. And one of the things I always really love to ask you to do in Gemini season is just to begin to flirt with life a little bit. So especially if life for you has got a bit serious, a bit monotonous, start to have a little bit of fun, start to flirt with life, start to just see life as a little adventure to be lived, and get curious about life, get curious about everything. Just go out there into the world and make some connections. Gemini season is really beautiful for that kind of light-hearted, free energy that takes us out of everything that's been keeping us a little bit heavy and a little bit stuck. Now, Tuesday, then we get the Gemini new moon, and on the same day, Mercury also trines Pluto. So first of all, this new moon in Gemini is going to really open a portal of possibilities. It's going to really bring choices and changes. And with Mercury trining Pluto, this is where we're going to get the sense that the future is calling. Because as we know, Pluto has recently moved into Aquarius. Pluto is now about kind of this big collective shift in energy for the next 20 years. And so this moon working with Pluto, this is where we're going to feel that sense of the future is calling. The future you want is calling. Now, a little heads up, you might find around this moon a lot of overwhelm. So feeling very, very overwhelmed, feeling like things are coming at you from every single direction, being all up in your head. You might find comparison is really big around this moon. We tend to find ourselves comparing ourselves with others a lot. And just remember that this really does come with a gift. So you're only ever going to compare yourself to or feel envy about somebody who is already doing what you know you want to do, but you're not doing what you know you need to do to get there. That's the only time we're ever going to feel a sense of comparison, when someone else is doing what we want to do, but we're holding ourselves back in some way. And so if you feel the comparison coming up, I want you to really honor that and get curious about it and sit with it and be with it and look at, what am I feeling comparison about? And what is this showing me around where they're doing what it is that I want to do? And what can I now do to help me to also get to where I want to be? If you're feeling the overwhelm, I want you to really check in with where you've been putting things off, because you're mainly going to feel overwhelmed at this moon if you've been staying stuck in indecision. So if you've been staying stuck and going, oh, I don't know what to do, oh, I don't know, that's when you're going to feel the overwhelm. As this moon comes through to urge you to take action and to say, and I say this with so much love, I say it to you all quite often, but you do know what to do. You always know what to do. It's just that what you know that you need to do scares you. And so if you've been staying in that indecisive place, and remember, staying stuck in indecision is one of the most disempowering places to be in life. It will strip you of all your power. And that's when you then look outside of yourself for somebody else or something else to make that decision for you. And that's when we feel really, really powerless. And so I want you to really get conscious about where you've been staying stuck there and make a choice either way. Once you've made a choice, you take back your power, and then you can begin to move in that direction, and the universe can come in and help you. So you're really going to feel that overwhelm if you've been staying stuck. So if you're feeling like everything's coming at me, I'm feeling really overwhelmed, I don't know what to do, pause, take a moment and say, okay, where have I been avoiding making a decision or choice? Because remember that not making a choice is also a choice. That's what I really want you to look at. Now, the main thing then that this moon is going to ask you to do is get very, very, very intentional about what you want for your future. And again, you do know what you want. So this moon is going to say you've got to now begin to look at next year, where you want to be and what you need to be doing now to make that happen. This is where we now begin to really plant the seeds of what it is that we want, and look at where we're getting in our own way and where we're not doing what we know we need to do. Because if you know that you want that, but you're not doing anything to get there, you're going to sit here with me in a year still wanting that and still saying, oh, nothing's ever working for me, or this doesn't happen, or this doesn't work out, or I still dislike my job, or my relationship's still not right. We've got to do the things now so that we can begin to live the life that we want to. So the big question that I want you to ask yourself at this new moon is, on every day over kind of the moon, over the days of the moon, maybe for the rest of the month into June, I want you to ask yourself, is this choice that I'm making now taking me closer to or further from the life that I want? Is this choice I'm making right now, the choice to say yes to something I don't want to do, the choice to stay here, the choice to go there? We're always making choices in every moment. So is this choice I'm making now taking me closer to or further from the life I say that I want? That's a big thing I want you to keep in mind at this moon. And I want you to make intentional choices in every moment that take you closer to where it is that you want to go. And it's at this moon that you get intentional about where that is. Get very clear about the life that you want for yourself and the kind of life that you want to be living, and then begin to take those steps towards it. They might be tiny, they might be baby steps, but start to take those steps towards it. Now, to help us with this, then on Friday, we get the Mercury Cassimi. So this is where Mercury then moves into the heart of the sun. And Mercury, when Mercury's direct and makes the Cassimi direct, Mercury's on the opposite side of the sun. So this is where Mercury then begins to gain or gather for us deep cosmic wisdom. So this is, the Mercury Cassimi opens a really powerful portal where we can access higher wisdom, guidance, answers, insights, intuitive nudges. It's almost like we get a direct dial into the universe. And with Mercury being in the opposite side of the sun, it's like Mercury's traveling in the cosmos, bringing all this cosmic consciousness down for us, beaming it down for us. So we've got this real ability to access cosmic wisdom on this day. So if you've been struggling with anything, you've wanted answers, you've wanted guidance, you're like, well, Kirsty, I want that in my future, but I don't know how to get there. I don't know what to do. This is a day to really sit and receive those insights, those downloads, those answers, to really receive it all through. So spend time in quiet meditation, spend time journaling, really allow those insights to come in. And speaking of cosmic wisdom, it will be just over a week until my next book, Your Cosmic Purpose, comes out and you get to hold her in your hands. And so if you haven't pre-ordered already, it would mean the world if you did. If you get any benefit from these cosmic weather reports and you want to thank me and give back in any way, it really would mean the world if you would order the book, either for you or for someone in your life that you know would really benefit of it. And it's really going to help you to bring everything we talk about on here together. There's a whole section on astrology in there and what to look for in your birth chart to really be able to find your purpose in your birth chart. And so, yeah, if you want more cosmic wisdom, go order the book. And then finally on Sunday, we get Venus conjunct Chiron on Sunday. Now, this is a really beautiful day. It might feel like a tender day, but it's a really beautiful day to begin to explore your worth wounds. And so if over the week you've looked at the future that you want and you've been like, okay, Kirsty, well, this is where I'd like to be in a year's time. This is what I want. But then the little voice comes in that tells you all the reasons why you couldn't have it. You couldn't make it happen. You're not deserving of having those things in your life. This is going to really show you where those deep down beliefs about your worth get in the way of you really having what it is that you want. And so this is a beautiful day just to really go into your heart, to be with your heart, to turn towards your heart, and to just acknowledge anything that still hurts or feels vulnerable or feels tender, or ways in which you've shut your heart down to protect yourself from things. This is a really beautiful day to just turn towards your heart and just say, I'm here, I'm listening. What is it you need me to know? Where am I keeping myself trapped? Where have I shut myself down? Where am I holding myself back? Where am I protecting myself? And can I now begin to gently heal? Can I begin to gently allow those things to come to the surface, to be seen and acknowledged and held? Can I hold my heart really tenderly and gently and let myself know that it's safe, and I'm going to be here, and I'm going nowhere, and I'm going to take care of you, and we are worthy and deserving of everything that it is that we want. So this is a really beautiful day to just go into your heart and just really be with your heart space. And you might have done a lot of healing and find that being in your heart is so beautiful, and will give you then an even deeper expansion into the possibilities of what you want. Or you might find there's a little bit of healing still in there that needs to be done, and you get to sit with that and be with that so that those things won't get in your way further down the line. So use this as a day of real self-care, of healing, of listening inwards, and of really tending to yourself and your inner world in a way that makes you feel nurtured and nourished and safe. I really hope, as always, this has helped you to navigate your week ahead. I'm sending you so much love, and I'll be back next week.